Okay, thanks. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Javeria Warsi with Vancouver Economic Development Commission, and John Tiley's here as well from VEDC, so you can direct questions for both of us. Who here is on one of the working groups, just so I have an idea of who I'm sort of speaking to? Okay, and the rest, it's mainly city staff, and I know, Alan, you're visiting? Oh, you're a city staff as well?
Yeah, I'm city.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, great. So I'm going to run through, I'm the staff lead on the Green Economy Working Group. So I'm basically going to run through sort of the work to date that we have done and look at where the green jobs will come in, the green economy, and hopefully then talk a little bit about how the work that we're going to do intersects with the other working groups, the other 9 target areas. Okay. So, unlike some of the other groups, the green economy target actually covers the whole economy. So, it will intersect with a number of the other working groups' work. So, for instance, any of the policies that come out of the green building group or the mobility group have an impact on the economy and will also change the numbers of green jobs. So it's pretty important for us to work pretty closely with the other working groups. So our group is doing that, but it means that there's quite a coordination effort between the other groups and ourselves. And I think Paul talked a lot about the baseline and how there are some issues, I think, with the mobility baseline as well. And I think when it comes to the green economy, it's a story of that, a baseline as well. We've been looking at the green economy in Vancouver and trying to assess what the number of green jobs are, and it's quite a big task because actually no one's ever really done it before. There's no data for us to draw on. There's not defined definitions, even with greenhouse gases. I think there's a little bit more work that's been done in that area, so we're really starting from the ground level. And we've done a number of studies at this stage, and we've actually conducted the first ever survey of green jobs in Vancouver this year. So based on that, we're starting to build a lot of the research and the recommendations that we're going to look at. The idea is that even though the definition may be contentious and it's a difficult thing to measure, if we use the same methodology that we've used in our survey this year repeatedly, we should be able to at least see if we've grown the economy and by how much we've grown it. So the idea is if we could double it in the next 10 years, using this survey methodology, it's something measurable and it would be accountable. Okay, next one, please. So based on the studies that we have done, and I have a few copies if people want to look at these, they'll be on our website sort of within the next few weeks, but we've done 3 studies so far of the green economy, starting with trying to define it and then trying to measure it. Based on that, this is an approximate number, so please keep that in mind, but we're looking at about 12,000 green jobs in Vancouver. So to put that in perspective, we have about 400,000 jobs in Vancouver, so it's about 3% of our economy currently. But you can see that these are all pretty substantial sectors that are within the green economy. What we have is 12 industry sectors, so that would be sort of your green building cluster, your waste management and recycling industries, local food, and then we've grouped them into sort of 8 categories, ranging from clean tech to education and everything in between. I actually do have handouts of this presentation, so I'm not sure if you can read the fine print on there. But by surveying the actual companies in Vancouver, we've approximated there's about 12,000 jobs. Next, please. We're working with a pretty large external advisory committee. As Lindsay mentioned, that includes people from public sector industry associations, also the private sector, UBC and SFU. So it's a very wide variety of people that we have on the external advisory committee. And working with them, we've sort of identified 5 sectors and 3 job categories that align with our other environmental targets and our social targets, and that Vancouver already has really a comparative advantage in. So those 5 sectors are clean tech, green buildings, waste and recycling, so that includes kind of materials reuse and salvage as well, sustainability services and education, and the local food economy. The local food economy, any of the figures that you see for that right now are really based on census data and very loose. It's something that we haven't surveyed yet. It wasn't part of our original survey, so that's something that we're undertaking right now. It's difficult because you have a lot of parallel economies like the ethnic food economy, and there's some language barriers with trying to survey the companies in that sector, but we're currently undertaking that work. And in terms of the three categories of jobs, there's sort of low threshold opportunities for inner city residents, technical and trades, so that will be installers and contractors in construction and so on, as well as operators of facilities like recycling facilities or water treatment facilities, and professional. And as I mentioned, we're coordinating really closely with the other 9 working groups and the Green Economic Zone group. Basically to assess the job creation potential of those groups, as I mentioned. We're also undertaking a number of other studies. There's a green building sector report that we're completing, a wood economy report, and they're sort of all running in parallel. Those should be available on the web, and as I said, I have a few sort of preliminary copies today. Next, please. So this is a slide for those of us who like to work with numbers, and this is the data. The data is based on either BC Stats information or, as I said, the surveys that we're conducting. But of the 400,000 jobs in Vancouver in 2010, we estimate that about 3% make up the green economy. Now, if you look at the general economy, it's growing at about 1.5%. Those are the BC Stats estimates for growth. If you look at the green portion of that, most economists sort of determined that on average, globally, green sectors are growing by about 5%. So in our 10-year time frame, that means that we could expect about 6,000 jobs, green jobs, if we sort of didn't raise the bar, if we weren't undergoing this process, and if we weren't looking at what we can do to raise the bar. With our proposed target, we would want to at least double the number of green jobs. That would mean that we want to actually get to 24,000 green jobs by 2020. So the policies and programs that our working group look at, and that each of the other working groups look at, and that we would like public input from, need to sort of have this number in mind. Like, if we really want to raise the bar, we need to have at minimum, at least, programs that deliver 6,000 green jobs.